Oh hey, you're back. Yes, I'm back. Hi, I'm Chen, and I've started a personal challenge. I'm going to keep drawing Leah Halton in all types of styles until she notices. If you don't know her, Leah is an Australian content creator and model.
I'm a stylist,
And that, I, as a person who likes design and fashion, really admire her sense of style and how aesthetic she is. The goal is for her to notice the drawing, and someday with a bit of luck, and maybe your help, I'd love to create a custom piece of clothing for her. This is episode number 2, and today I'm trying to draw a fashion illustration. This is a style I know pretty well because I use it very often, so I will walk you through my process with some detail. Don't get fashion illustration confused with fashion. Don't get fashion illustration confused with Don't get fashion illustration confused with fashion sketch, which is a little different. I'll let you decide if this drawing that I do today is more of a sketch or more of an illustration. So, the purpose of a fashion sketch is to quickly communicate the design idea, the silhouette, the details, and the construction of the clothing. The style of the drawing is often simple, with minimal shading and no background. It usually doesn't focus on the model's feature and more on the garment itself, the seams, the lines, and the shapes. Usually creating a fashion sketch is a very fast process to quickly get the idea from your mind to the page. Now, the purpose of a fashion illustration is to present the garment in a finished, artistic, and expressive way. The style is more polished, and it may include shading, textures, background, and accessories. The illustration focuses a bit more on the clothing and on the model's beauty, pose, and expression. The process of drawing an illustration is usually slower, more refined, and presentation ready. So in short, a sketch is a design blueprint, it's fast and functional, and an illustration is a fashion artwork. It's more polished and expressive. So because I know what I'm doing in this video, I don't need a real plan other than my regular work process, which I will walk you through right now. So one step at a time, let's see how it goes. Okay, so first I gather all my references. So in this example, I have the reference of the face, a general reference of the model's body, which wasn't actually her actual body. I just used a different kind of sketch and I made them work together. And maybe sometimes I also use references for the materials I want to see in the drawing. For example, the top I want it to be some type of semi-shiny plastic, so I have a reference next to me to see how to shade it. After I draw everything on my tablet, I print it out and I go over to the next part, which is coloring. So first I look at the sketch after I print it, and then I start choosing the colors I'm going to use. Now, what you see me doing here is I'm trying on the side of the page, which I'm going to cut out in the end. I'm trying the colors and seeing which one looks like the one I want. So I'm using alcohol markers, which with them I'm going to color the biggest parts, and then over them I'm going to do the shading with a different medium. Usually I choose the lightest color I'm going to color the section with, because then I'm going to add shading and highlights. So I'm going to use that, and the shading is going to add a little bit darker areas and also a little bit lighter areas. So then I color the whole sketch with the alcohol markers, and after that I'm going to start shading. I recommend that if, like me, in the same drawing you want to use both colored pencils and also soft pastels, to start with the soft pastels, because I like to go out of the lines a little bit and then I can just erase it, even if I go on top of the parts I want to use the pencils with. If you do the opposite, then when you erase, the pencil also erases. So I just start with the pastels and then I go over to the pencils and then I spray the whole thing. So here you can see there are many colors. And what I like to do is obviously choose the colors, test them. You see I have the test paper on the side. And then, because they are soft and they are not the oil pastels, you can just take the pastel and like shave it to the piece of paper, and I use a, what do you call it? The stick for your ears. What do you call the stick for your ears? It's not a toothpick. Ear pick? Let me check. Swab. Alright, so then after shaving the soft pastel to the paper, I can use the ear swab stick, whatever, and just take a little bit of the powder I created and draw with the stick. That way I can make very, very intricate details and also very small areas, and it comes out really nice, and it's way faster than something I used to do before, which I just used to take the soft pastel, draw a line with it, and then blend the line. It usually leaves harsher marks, and using the ear swab, it usually blends way better. Usually I go for 3 different shades, from light to dark, and also then I go over with just a completely white one with the swab on the clean end of it, and I go over for the highlights. Also for the face area, I started to use a bit of redness on the cheeks and on the lips. It makes it look more realistic, and also it gives it a little bit of depth. This part is usually the part I enjoy the most too. So after I finish shading, I take my eraser pencil. I'll show you it. So after I finish shading with the soft pastels, I go over with this. This is an eraser pencil, which is very good because it lets me erase very small details. So I just go around the whole drawing, erasing all the places I went out of the lines at. And that's great because I don't really have to care a lot. Even when I shade with a black color, it still erases pretty well. And then I can erase it, and then I go over and start shading with the colored pencils. So I usually start by shading with the lightest colored pencil, and I shade the biggest area if it makes sense. Then I go over with a darker shade, but a little bit smaller area, and then with a darker shade for even smaller area. And that's how I basically shade 3 colors before moving to the highlights, which in this case is just the white. And usually you draw like a line for reflection, but because this is jeans, I decided to do a bunch of lines to make it look like it's distressed, and I think it gives it the right effect. I also will add on screen somewhere a picture of usually how to shade the body. So I usually go by this, I really remember it by now, but if you need it, it's there. Then I go over the outlines with a marker. So I'm using this type of marker, which doesn't have a ballpoint. That means it doesn't get stuck. Usually when I go over the lines, next to areas I shaded with the colored pencils, the shaving of the pencil, I don't know, the shaving of the color gets stuck in the ballpoint and the pen just stops working, you know, like this pen, it's a great pen, but it usually gets stuck. So I moved over to these pens, which don't have the ballpoint, and they work way better. They do run out of ink way faster, or they get dry very fast, but they do work better. This is 0.3 thickness, it's way too thick. So I usually use the 0.05, and it's way better. I can even go over the pupils of the drawing in a very detailed way without messing up the whole drawing. I usually like to not go over the facial features and just the outline, because I feel like it makes it look more cartoonish. You know, when you look at a human, the face usually isn't like lined out perfectly, and maybe the side of the nose or the nose gets blended with the cheeks a little bit. You don't usually see harsh lines on the face. And if I go over it with a pen, it makes it look more cartoonish. So I don't do it, I just go over the outlines. Right, now The drawing is basically finished. I just have to spray it with a fixative spray, and what I like to do is, as you can see, we have all this mess in the side of the drawing, so I just cut the sides, I leave a little bit of space in between, and I glue it on top of a black piece of paper, which makes it look way more professional and ready to display. So this is the end of the drawing. Now for the final reveal, have a look. That has been it. I really enjoy making fashion illustrations, and I think it came out very nice. Each episode I hope to get better and learn something new. Let me know in the comments, first, if you think this is more of a sketch or more of an illustration based on my explanation, and also what material or medium I should try next. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, and also go follow me on Instagram. We're trying to get Leah to notice this drawing, and we need your help. This has been episode number 2 of Drawing Leah Halton Until She Notices. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.